Hey everybody, how's it going? We are here with a timeless reading. Before we get started with the reading, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with the highest good. I feel like that tower wanted to come out. Maybe it won't. Okay. We're starting off with the Knight of Wands. I'm hearing proceeding, maybe moving forward with something. Knight of Wands feels inspired to go in a particular direction. There may be a social gathering, something of the sort that you're going to. This would be something where you'd feel very motivated to do this. Some of you, it's actually the opposite of that. Like you may have something else that you want to do instead. Maybe you're trying to balance both of those things, like your social relationships and also the things that you have personally going on. Yeah. Okay. The way that this is coming out and why it feels like sort of two opposite things happening. This was the first card out. This is the second one. This is like you wanting to move forward with something, and having this be the second card, it would be like, what do you want to move forward with? What do you want to move towards? And it looks like it can be a party or a gathering or somewhere where you'd be socializing or hanging with like a friend or your friends, something like that. However, the placement of these, if we're reading this intuitively, you may want to go elsewhere where it's like all your homies are hanging out over here. Maybe you have something else that you want to be doing, and there can be a decision that needs to be made. Like, these would be people that you like spending time with and that you like being around, or this would be like, maybe it would be fun to go there, something like that. And so you may be deciding like, do I want to do that thing or do I want to do something else? Because I feel like something else has caught your eye that you may actually prefer to move towards. Like this feels like it's speaking to you more, whatever is in a different direction, but you may have to like make a call. Like maybe everything's happening on the same night and you have to figure out like, which thing do I want to go to? Can I go to both of them? Figuring that out, maybe like a scheduling thing, something like that. This Knight of Wands feels like a personal mission of yours. Like maybe everybody expects you to go somewhere and you're like, I have something else that I prefer to be doing. But then maybe that would mean you have to like let people down, you know, or you would feel like that. But to have the Two of Swords and then to have the Ten of Cups, I'm seeing whatever this is that you're doing, you're going to follow your heart with it. So that's what's going to determine the choice for you. Like what you feel is speaking to the depths of your heart. And that's where you're going. It's like choosing to be where you want to be most rather than where you feel obligated to be or obligated to go. It's like, where do you actually want to be? And I'm seeing that's what's carrying you through. Yeah, I'm seeing it be like a clear decision at this point, but you may have to... It's interesting. I feel like this is such a such a like individual perspective. Like this feels like such a specific story. Like you've been invited somewhere, your friends are all gonna go somewhere, or like you've been invited to a party or something like that, and you're like, there's part of me that wants to go, but then there's part of me that wants to do this other thing, and now I have to decide. And like this can also be like a family thing too. Like your family wants you to go somewhere, you feel like motivated instinctively to go in a different direction. Like that's where you want to be placing your energy. Like that's where it's supposed to go. And then needing to make the decision of like, which thing do I do here? What do I do? Two of Swords also can imply that you're going to have to like let somebody know what your decision is. Also too, I'm seeing this Knight of Cups here and also the Ace of Swords. And this feels like definitely communicating with somebody like, I'm going to be able to make it or I'm not going to be able to make it. Like that. You know, like needing to send somebody, it feels like a reply to whomever this group is or this friend is or this like event. But I'm seeing you be clear on what you want to do here. Maybe this is about like what constitutes a decision for you, like what's motivating you right now to make the decisions that you're making. And maybe feel things out and sort of trust that if you feel called to go in a particular direction, that's the right call to make. And that may be like what's justifying the choices that you're making, rather than maybe before you would go to a place that it would be like least resistance. Like where can I make the decision that like most people would be happy about me making. But then sometimes you maybe feel like you show up places and be like, I wish that I would have gone to that other place. Like that's really what I wanted to do. But instead I came here because I didn't want to deal with people saying something about like me going elsewhere, you know, or not showing up or whatever. So that's what this is feeling like. This can also be an example of like a process that you're going through that's sort of like the archetype of a process that's you're going to be seeing repeated. Like it may just be an example that we're seeing here for something where you're going to start making choices that feel more aligned with what you feel like internally destined to be going for. Rather than making your decision based off of external things, it's making decision off of like internal energetic principles. Yeah. Yeah, because I'm seeing that what's happening right now is you're moving into a space where you're like, I'm the only person responsible for my happiness is me. And if I keep making choices that are not in the interest of that, then I'm going to be feeling other than that, like other to that. And so right now I'm seeing you be in a choice where you're like, I would rather like confront this and be like, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it, or like I have plans, or I'm busy, or like whatever you're going to say. But I'm seeing you be like, but it's my job to like be responsible for communicating that and take accountability for the choices that I'm making. Because you're the one that you have to look in the mirror at the end of the day, you know, not those other people. So I'm just getting you be at a point where you're more like internally guided, and maybe before you were more like socially appeasing, but then you were like, why do I feel like I'm not getting these certain things that I want to be like connecting with or feeling? And it's because you were maybe like disregarding what your intuition and your instinct was telling you to sort of like please other people or to be more socially acceptable. Yeah, I'm seeing you exercising your discernment in a different way. Or maybe like actually exercising it. Because it's not like you didn't know before, but you may have been like, I know that I'm going to be happy going somewhere else, but like I don't want to deal with what people are going to have to say. And now you may be in a spot where you're like, if I want to feel myself within this energy. Sorry, there was a huge bird that just flew over. It's the window. What this is saying is that if you want to find yourself in situations that you're like, I'm so happy to be here, it means that sometimes you're going to be faced with a tough choice. And if you're in a spot where you're like, I'm going to do what feels right to me, and I'll just deal with the other stuff because it matters most, like, how I feel about what I'm doing. Like, you're really putting the weight back on, like, you and how you're feeling and what you think, and making your opinion matter, and your feelings matter, and your experience matters. So it's like you're living for you, making this transition into, like, living for yourself and the experiences that your soul is like, I want to experience this, rather than whatever anybody else thinks that you should be doing, or wants you to be doing, or wishes you to be doing. Now you're the one that's becoming in charge of this. So I'm seeing this be a really important step, because this is like you really taking your power back and not blaming anyone else, you know? It's not like going to that other thing where your spirit was like, let's go to this thing that's calling you, and you're like, never mind, let me just disregard that and go to this party. And then you find yourself at the party and you're like, oh, I can't believe they invited me. I can't believe they made me come here. I don't even want to be here. You know, then feeling like resentment towards your friends or your family or like whoever's there, and then like feeling away towards yourself, you know. And now you don't have to, you're not doing that anymore, because you've learned now that you're the one that's choosing what you participate in and where you're going. And there's nobody else to really blame. I feel like blame isn't the right word, but like nobody else is responsible for your happiness. So this is you knowing that you get to choose where you're focusing your attention and living by that. And I'm seeing it be something that you're like beginning to enforce with boundaries too, like your happiness and your peace of mind and your contentment, and being in a spot where you're like, if somebody challenges that, I'm willing to like show up for myself now. And that's what I'm seeing you be in the process of learning. It's going to be a process. But yeah, this is really amazing progress that you're making personally. Because when you do this, you really do take your power back and you stop giving it away to other people. Because when we're in a position where we're doing things that goes against our like better intuition, we start looking around at other people and like putting the blame on them for our own choices. And so this is you recognizing your responsibility and that you're choosing what you experience. And so that means that now you have the power to experience the things that you want to experience, rather than thinking it's just out of your hands. And these are the steps you're taking. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.